And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to Flippin' Dudes. I'm your host, Jason, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris. Chris, what's going on?
What's up, Jason? Happy Thursday.
How's it going? Another episode number 6, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. That means this is our 6th hour of fun.
I know it's been wild since we started, and we've just had a lot of fun each of these weeks coming on and connecting with people in the resell world, sharing knowledge we've gained and sharing mistakes we've made, and just having fun with what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So how's your week going, Chris?
And it's been a good week. I took kind of a little half day on Monday, usually Monday's a sourcing day for me. So I didn't do any sourcing Monday. Didn't go to any thrift stores, nothing. And just got some listing done. And then Kim and I, we went and had some lunch down on the water and just kind of hung out down by the water. It was until the sun went down and it started getting chilly, but it was a beautiful day. It's been a great week.
Wow.
This is the time of year in Florida where this is my first winter in Florida. So yeah, we suffered through the summertime. Gosh, it was just heat and humidity, but this is what people always talk about in Florida is the wintertime. You can just be outside all the time. It's just 60s and low 70s. It's just been awesome lately.
That's amazing. Yeah, this is the time to live it up in Florida. Get it to where it's just a really perfect temperature. Enjoy being outside, and yeah, good for you. Good for you and Kim getting some downtime.
Now I should probably break in these running shoes a little bit and actually put in some miles, because now I don't have those excuses of it's too hot or it's too humid. Now it's beautiful. I should get my exercise on. What about you? What's up? How's your week?
It's been good. I'm still out of the mold of not thrifting on Monday. Today was kind of weird. I had my grandmother had some items from my grandfather that's passed, but he had a bunch of random old pocket knives and some leather belts and just random things. And she asked if I would list them for her. And, so I spent the day listing those 10 items, but each one I was kind of out of my game because it was, I had to look up every single item. I had to really put research and time into each listing rather than getting in the groove like I normally do. And so yeah, it was kind of one of those emotionally harder days, tiring, but finally glad to get those listed because I've been looking at them. I was like, when am I going to do that? I'm like, today's the day. So those are drafted and ready to go tomorrow.
That's awesome. I mean, was there some nostalgia for you wrapped up in that? Were these items that you remembered or?
No, not really. It's stuff he was a collector of a lot of things, it turns out. And so it was stuff that was in the attic and has some worth. Some of these knives are worth $50 to $100. So, I mean, it was trying to sort through. There were some that were just kind of junk and I allotted those together. And then others that were just kind of some interesting rusted pieces. So we'll see what those bring. I kind of price tag because I'm not in my wheelhouse, but we'll see what happens.
Super interesting, man. That's wild. Must have been a lot of research and with some items that you've never played around with before.
Yeah, and for those that are maybe hard goods sellers who are constantly finding random pieces, I can kind of understand where it takes quite a bit of time to list if you're, always finding newer items that you're not familiar with. And I kind of get the whole, if you're not, with clothing, you just kind of put your head down and go list 10 items in an hour and a half and you're done. But this, it's a little harder when you've got these unique pieces and you want to make sure you get the value for and don't just list and give away for cheap money. So, and especially my grandmother, I can't devalue some of the items that she gave me. So
you got to get top dollar for those. Grandma going to be pissed.
I know. There was definitely a piece where she was like, I don't want less than 75 for this. I was like, all right, if I don't get 75 after a while, I'll just give it back to you.
Grandma drives a hard bargain. I like that.
Yep. So anyone out there looking for vintage pocket knives and belt buckles, go check my store tomorrow. They'll be dropping for sure. It's going to be hot.
That's awesome.
Well, Chris, let's get into the show. I'm excited to see what tonight brings. We've got a fun topic. As mentioned before, some of you may have seen, we're going to be doing a 5-minute segment or so on scammers. We don't like them, but it happens. It's just a part of the business that you kind of have to deal with. We'll give you kind of some tips on how to respond on different ways that people scam. But why don't you go ahead and tell us what this show is all about and tell those people that may be new tonight what we do during this hour.
Right on. Well, welcome everyone to episode number 6 of Two Flippin' Dudes. This is a weekly show by resellers, for resellers, and for the reseller curious. Jason and I, two full-time resellers, we get together every week just for an hour just to catch up on what's going on with our respective businesses. We talk a little life, but mostly we're talking shop. We're here to answer your questions, so get those questions into the live chat. We'll definitely devote some time to that. And of course, we're competitive folks, so we're going to play a flipping game. We play a flipping game every week. This week is no different. And right now, I'm sitting pretty on a 4-1 lifetime record. I am your defending champion from last week. I'm looking to defend that title, and I'm ready for that game. So thanks, everybody. There's a million things that you could spend your Thursday evening doing. I'm glad that you're just hanging with us while we talk about the thing that we love to do, which is reselling.
Yeah, completely agree. Looking forward to that game tonight or this week. Let's go ahead and shout out some people that we see in the chat. Got Ryan back. Ginger says she's popping in for 2 seconds. So Ginger, thanks for if you're still here with us, thanks for popping in.
That's awesome.
I want to do a special shout out real quick because I have a family member here in not Crispy. I've got my Uncle Dave in the live with us tonight. So Uncle Dave, thanks for watching.
What's up, Uncle Dave? I wonder if Uncle Dave's got some stuff down in the basement or up in the attic that maybe needs to be flipped.
He actually does. This is what he's been going to some estate sales and looking for those random pieces that I was just talking about. So
that's awesome.
I'm sure he's going to get some tips tonight.
That's awesome. I hope you learned something, Uncle Dave. I got some family in the house too. Cousin Craig is in the house tonight.
Craig, okay.
Ryan, big supporter of the show and just a big supporter of me as a human. Appreciate seeing y'all in there. We got all kinds of people. Colts Comics. Jeremy's in the house. A big time reseller, super funny guy. Juan Ramirez is in the house.
Juan Ramirez is back.
He's always here. Lion Creek Boutique. Wow, this is a full house tonight. I love this.
We've got a really good crew in here, and I'm excited about this show because each week we just it builds and builds to where we've got the same people coming back, which is amazing. So thank you guys. And we get new people each week. So it's just a lot of fun. But hey, let's take some questions. So if you've got questions for us about reselling, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll still get to them if we have time. And, if we have time at the end, we'll get to those as well. But we're going to answer some right now. And I saw a few in here. Ed asks, where do you guys usually get items new with tags? Typically, I rarely see any at my local Goodwill. So, Chris, you want to take that one first, and then I'll...
Yeah, I'm mostly peeling those things off from thrifts, just new with tag stuff that was donated. Particularly more, there's a local thrift store, and maybe you have them in your area, Ed, too, where it's the hospice. So the money goes, it's donated items from hospice, and anyone can donate there. And the money goes to support the hospice, which is a great cause, something that I totally believe in and support, and has been a big part of my family's life in the recent past. So, but that's where I find a lot of new with tag stuff. I also do some retail store clearance stuff. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Check out local retail places and check out the clearance section and start seeing what those prices look like.
Yeah. And, at every store is going to look different. I remember in Colorado, I had one store in particular that was had a plethora of new with tags items. So it's just going to depend on where you are. But I will say a lot of Goodwills do like the boutique section where you get some of the higher name brand items. But a lot of times that's where I find the new with tags. It's like they pull them out for you and they do price them a little higher. So if you have like a boutique section at your Goodwill, you can always check that. Thanks for that question. Let's see. Let's go to one more, and then we'll show some items that we're thrifting while others are putting questions in the chat. But Maria asks, what printer do you recommend?
I mean, you and I are going to have the same answer for this. We both use the Rollo thermal printer. I'll recommend that, but I'll just say I haven't tested all the ones. I know Dymo is another really popular one amongst resellers, but I would definitely suggest something thermal for sure, because you're not going to use, it doesn't use any ink, which is going to give you immediate cost savings. So, but the Rollo is what I use. Rollo, Rollo.
Yeah, and the ink doesn't smudge if it gets wet.
Yep.
So,
good point.
All right, well, let's do this. We've got a few more questions coming in, but we'll get to those in a second. Let's show some items that we have thrifted this week. So Chris, do you have an item you want to show us, or
Where are we starting? We starting from the clothing division or the non-clothing division?
whatever you want, whatever you think is an awesome item that you're excited about?
All right, I'm gonna go bread and butter. I'm gonna go clothing, and I know Juan Ramirez is in the house, so he'll appreciate this. I brought this one out specifically for you, Juan. I got me a Carhartt.
Nice.
Which is a brand that for a long time I wasn't picking up. I was kind of ignoring the Carhartt. Oh, you got me up and big there. There we go. Carhartt. I ignored it for a long time, and then I saw Juan's channel on TikTok. Juan resells a ton of stuff, and he was selling Carhartt and getting good prices for it. So I bought a Carhartt a few weeks ago. It flipped really quick, like within a couple of days for a great price. So I was like, all right, I'm going to pick up another Carhartt. This one's not as cool. The last one was a flannel, and it was like a long sleeve. This is short sleeve, but I don't know. I paid half of $7, so I paid $3.50. I'm thinking it's gonna go for probably low 20s. We'll call it 22 to 26 would be my guess for that.
Nice. And did you say that was a larger size?
I think it was a large period. It is a large.
Okay.
It's a relaxed fit though. So another item. This is one I think I've only picked up maybe one time before because I just never come across it. I know you probably recognize that.
It's a rare brand.
So the brand is Mountain Khaki out of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And it's not made there. Of course, it's made in China. Give me a break. But yeah, this is a classic sort of like a vented fishing style shirt. So it's got that vent in the back. That's typically how you know it's a fishing shirt, and that's how I'll list this as a fishing shirt. And you can see the little logo there on the back too. These are big time if you find them in pants. These go for a lot of money in pants, and I know, Jason, you've probably bought and sold a lot of those. I think maybe I've sold like one pair of those. I don't spend a ton of time in the pants section, but I was psyched to find a Mountain Khaki, especially down here in Florida where there's not a lot of mountain anything going on. You don't need khakis, and there are no mountains.
I'm wondering if that's someone that like moved into Florida from a colder place or more of an outdoorsy place and then brought their stuff and donated it.
Absolutely.
I'll show a couple items that I have, and I'm going to stick with clothing too. We've kind of strayed away from clothing in the last few videos, but I'll show this one. You see that right there, Beretta.
Oh yeah.
You can kind of see that I paid full price, $10 on this shirt. I don't typically pick up Beretta, and I'm not suggesting that you pick this up, but for this item right here, this shirt right here, this little padding on the shoulder is a shooting shirt, hunting shirt, and there are a lot of brands that I wouldn't pick up normally, but if I find these shooting shirts, I'll definitely pick them up. And then it's also got the like the extra padding on the back of the elbow here. So like I said, I don't pick up Beretta, but this shirt, I know I can get $25, $30, maybe even higher. I haven't looked up comps, but I just know that this is a good piece to pick up that will sell. So I'll definitely want to get that listed quickly since we're kind of at the more of the end of winter.
That's a good find, man. Hey, Beretta, I picked up 2 like vintage Beretta flannels back in the spring when I was in Denver still. The first one sold really quick, and then the second one sat for a bit, but I got my price on both of them. I got about like mid-20s for just like a vintage old flannel. Yeah.
It's another brand that I don't find very often, like Mountain Khaki. And I would, if I had to pick between the two, I'd pick the MK. But for that shirt, I mean, that's pretty solid. It's a great looking shirt. So
I think you might be able to get more than that for it.
Yeah, we'll put it up and see. I've got another one like that's Browning that's getting some offers around that. Or I should say watchers around that $40 range. So this next brand I want to show you is I've kind of cooled off on picking these up, but I don't know if you can tell that. It's kind of hard to see the inside, but this is Cole Haan.
Is that a Grand OS?
That you got it, Grand OS, and that will say it right inside. So it says Cole Haan Grand OS. I'd show you, but I don't think it's going to pick it up in there. Maybe it will.
Oh, I can see it.
So these shoes right here are the Stitch Lights. They're like a lighter fabric. You can kind of, I don't know if you can see, you can see through it a little bit. So it's a lighter weight shoe, but it's a dress shoe, like a wingtip design. And I paid $10 for these. There's the tag. And should get around like $45 to $55 for these. So Cole Haan, like the normal dress shoes, have definitely dropped for me. They're not selling as quickly, but the Grand OS, these Stitch Lights, or the Zero Grands are another great shoe to flip, and you can get, I'd say 50 up on the 0 grands.
Right on. I have that exact same shoe, a brand new with tags, like, or brand new in box, sitting in the closet, but I'll say it's been sitting for a little while because it's.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm shooting my shot. I'm trying to get a high price on it, but I've noticed that I do have a stack of Cole Haan brand new in box sitting. It's been in my closet for a good bit. So yeah, I've noticed also that brand in general seems to have sunk a little bit. I won't say it's like dramatic, but
yeah. Well, and I don't know if that was an RA or an OA, online arbitrage item, where your margin may be less and you need to get a higher amount rather than just finding it for $5 at Goodwill.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to some more questions. Got a few in here. Oh, sorry. This moves so fast and I click it and it's already on to the next one. Let me see where it went. Here's one from Uncle Dave. Do you have a price of an item sold where you use sign-on delivery, or do you insure items shipped? It's a great question. And shipping is obviously something that gets a lot of people frustrated, just trying to figure out what do I do in a lot of different ways. But I would say I don't really ever use sign-on delivery, but I'm not selling items that are higher priced. If I were selling, like, I don't know, just to throw a number out there, maybe 150 plus, I'd probably do sign-on delivery. But you know, Priority Mail does insure packages up to $50, and you can purchase additional. If I have a shirt that's sold for $125 and I've only got 50 from Priority Mail, you can go ahead and pay to get that extra insurance. And that's something that I would consider doing on an item like that. Now, if the shirt were 65 and I'm getting 50, probably not going to pay to have that. But if it's significantly larger, I'll definitely pay to get that insurance on there. What do you do, Chris? I mean, is that kind of par with what you do, or do you have a different strategy on that?
I think I have a higher threshold of tolerance for risk on those. So first, it's important to note that eBay requires you to do signature required on sales that are $700 or more.
That's good to know.
That. You don't it's not a hard requirement, but in order to keep your seller protections, all of your seller protections through eBay, then you need to put the signature required. I think it's $2.55 to add that on there. But I'll note that when I do that, and I had a sports card sale recently, a couple that went for over that amount recently. When I do that, I make sure I let the buyer know about that too. That like, hey, I'm adding signature required to it because it's required by eBay on items over $700. So that person knows that they have to be home to sign for it, and they're not mad. Like if it, they're not surprised by it when it gets there. But for me, I don't do it except for on really big items like $700 plus where I'm required. Occasionally, I'll add extra insurance onto something, but not very frequently. I was doing it during December on high-valued items just because I knew shipping was a S show, so to speak. It was a gong show, so I wasn't. I added some insurance onto some things, but typically I don't. Because here's the thing: when something gets marked as delivered by USPS or by FedEx, you're good as the buyer. Like if someone steals it off someone's front porch, you're not on the hook for that. That's, it's marked delivered, you're good.
Yeah. And I think even, I don't do FedEx quite a lot. Most of it's priority USPS, but I think FedEx insures at $100. I can't guarantee that, but I want to say they're higher than the USPS.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I've never insured anything through FedEx.
But you just sold that, what was it, $1,100 basketball card. I'm curious, what'd you do on that one? Was that a sign-on
Yeah, signature
delivery?
Required upon delivery because it was over $700. So I wanted to keep my eBay seller protection. It only cost $255, and I sent that to the buyer, and the buyer was cool with it. I actually, on big items like that, I'll usually start a conversation with the buyer just to sort of tease out like the odds of it being a scam sort of situation. So
that's a good idea.
Right out $1,100, right? That item sells. I reached out a few minutes later and said, hey, thanks for your purchase. Just wanted to let you know that I'm going to get the card in the mail tomorrow, USPS priority, which should put it there by the end of the week, probably Thursday or Friday. I'm also going to add signature required. Will you be around those days? Then I wanted to start a conversation with that person.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, because there's nothing more frustrating than selling something for that much money and then it going awry. So, getting proactive on the front end with that. And at least you have like a trail, you have a message trail that eBay can see if they are acting fishy or responding in a weird way. at least for you, it kind of sets the buyer up to know what to expect when that item comes. So
yeah, I think if nothing else, I don't know if, if someone wanted to scam me, they could still scam me through the messages, right? But I think for me, if nothing else, it just made me a little bit more confident with that sale. And like, yeah, I wasn't like waiting to see that thing get delivered so much. I was like, hey, this person seems like a reasonable person. So
yeah. We've got another great question from Juan. He asks, how do you look how long an item has been in your store? Juan, I would just say, I don't know for sure if you have to have a store to have this feature. Maybe someone in the chat can help us out, but there's a custom SKU field in all of your listings that you can put in so that you can see, like for me, I'll put where the bin is, or the bin that the item is in, and I'll put the date that I listed it. So January 21st, 2021. And that lets me know a year from now, if I still have that item, maybe I can price it, put a sale on it or accept a lower offer. Kind of lets me know the visibility on that. So that's one thing you can do. Other than that, like, I know that you can click on the listing and find when you originally listed it, but if you ever end it and then sell similar, it's going to reset that. So you may have had it longer than it shows, if that makes sense.
Yeah, anytime you can click on the item, like once it's sold, you can click on the item details and it will tell you the start time. And when we play the game later on and we're showing some of our sales, I'll actually show where on the screen that shows up.
Yeah. And then we'll take one more question before we get into our hot topic tonight of scammers, since we've kind of already been teasing it. But are my buyers able to see the shipment tracking when I can see it, or is there something I need to do to make it visible to them? Well, Kathy, I would just say if you're one of the advantages among, a few of printing directly from eBay is that tracking gets uploaded right away as soon as you ship it out. As soon as you print the label, it sends the buyer a message that says your item has been shipped. Right away, it's got the tracking number in there for them to see, and they can just start tracking it through the eBay app or through their desktop or whatever they're using. So that's one great perk of printing directly through eBay. If you're not doing that, you may have to manually enter in the tracking number. But once you put it in, I mean, the buyer should be able to see it. They get notified that it's shipped whenever you mark shipped and then enter tracking. So,
yeah. So for example, Kathy, if you're going to the post office counter, right? If you're going into your local USPS and bringing the package in and paying for it there and having them print out the label, then what you'll have to do is you'll have to go back home and you'll have to enter that tracking number in. But if you're printing through eBay, you're fine. Also, if you're using Pirate Ship and you set up the integration between Pirate Ship and eBay so they can talk to each other, which is really easy to do, Pirate Ship will do the same thing. Once you print the label, it'll automatically upload the tracking information to the listing so the buyer can see it.
Yeah, very good question. Thanks a lot, Kathy, for asking us that. You can still keep putting questions in the chat if you'd like, and we may get to it later. But we're going to go ahead and move on to something that plagues a bunch of us, scammers. So we're going to give you about 3 scenarios in which Chris or myself have been, or at least attempted to scam from possible scammers. Chris has got one, and then I'll highlight a couple. But Chris, why don't you go ahead and tell us about one? You said you had one that happened recently to you.
Yeah, it was actually this Monday. I was sitting out having a cup of coffee and on the patio and just kind of going through messages and whatnot. And I noticed that I had a message from a buyer, and it's he said, I will pay full price for this item, but please contact me at this phone number via text to arrange payment. So anytime somebody's asking, so how I responded to that was I went in and I first of all, I blocked the buyer. So I'm not going to give the step-by-step instructions of how to block a buyer on eBay, but if you just Google, how do I block a buyer on eBay, you'll get step-by-step instructions on one of your first results, and it'll walk you through it. And so I went and I added that person to my blocked buyer list. And I noticed there was like 15 other blocked buyers, probably from similar scam experiences where I just go in and add those people. And then my next step was to decline that offer. So block the person first, then decline the offer, because I didn't want to decline the offer first and then have them quickly make an offer. Actually, sorry, it came through a message. So I didn't want them to be able to make an offer, period. So you just block the buyer, and if they made you an offer, just decline the offer. So yeah, it happens very rarely. That's why I thought it was interesting on Monday. It happens a lot when you're a new eBayer and you have a low feedback score. So when I first got started, I was getting this all the time because I started a new eBay account when I started my business because I couldn't remember how to access my old eBay account. I was on eBay back in the 90s. When it first got started, I loved eBay right from the very beginning, but I couldn't figure out how to log into that account. I had to start a fresh one. So I had a feedback score of 0 when I opened my business, and I got so many scams. And that's the most common one. They want you to reach out to them outside of eBay for payment, and they're going to send you some payment in some sort of way where they're just going to pull the money back before it gets to you, and you're going to be stuck after you ship the item. So anytime somebody asks you to contact them outside of eBay, they're 99.9% of the time it's a scammer. 0.01% it might be some old lady who's trying to buy the item and doesn't know how to purchase it. For me, I'll give up my 0.01% of sales to old ladies to avoid 99.99% scammers.
Yeah, and Crispy, that's a great answer. Crispy says, did he say kindly? That one word is usually an indication.
It's huge. Crispy, you're right on. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Can you kindly contact, or yeah, if the word kindly is in there, I don't know what it is. It's true. It's 100% true.
Yeah, just used quite a bit. It's you know what you just talked about. I've gotten so many responses, and I'm sure you have too, Chris, of people saying, "Hey, you know, posting in a video of mine like on TikTok, is this a scam?" And they're explaining that exact situation. It's happening quite a bit now, whereas I didn't see this probably past 6 months ago. It never happened to me. I've gotten probably 3 or 4 of those. That's the one time I will decline right away. I don't want to even sell an item to them, especially if they're trying to scam me. So I don't even counter back and forth. I just, most of the time, they're probably not trying to buy it. They're trying to scam. But yeah, so I just decline and move on. But
Ryan added kindly, sir. And that's another one. It's either kindly or kindly, sir, I guess, or both, right? But hilarious.
Yep.
It's not funny if you do get scammed, though. You know, I guess, you know, you got it. It's funny if you dodged it, right? It's not funny if
it's not funny if it happens to you and you got taken. Yeah.
Right.
I do want to talk about a couple other ways in which someone has tried to scam me. I would say this. The first one being item not as described. And this happened to me when I was a new reseller. And I didn't really, obviously this was the first time, so I didn't have context to know how to deal with it. But I sold a pair of shorts. At this time, I was a small reseller, had a handful of items in my bedroom. And the guy got it and said, "Hey, these shorts smell so bad. They smell like a dead animal. I had to throw them away. I would like a refund." And, you know, at first I kind of got worked up. I got really kind of angry. Like, how can that be? Like, I'm not a smoker. I don't have pets. I'm pretty sure I would know if it smelled that bad, you know, like I'm just like racking my brain. And then I realized, oh, he's just trying to get a refund. You know, he's trying to keep the shorts and get a refund. This happens quite a bit. And there are a lot of like sellers out there who don't want to mess with it. So they just refund and go on their way because they'd rather not spend time dealing with it. And I do want to say that, you know, each one has their own strategy, but this is a way that reinforces those scammers to continue to do this. What they're trying to do is obviously they're trying to get that item for free. They want you to give them a partial refund or a full refund. They get to keep the shorts that they're probably wearing when they send that message, and then they go on their day. So I'll tell you exactly how I responded to that. That is kind of a sure tell way to know, is this person trying to scam me? And this is what I do anytime I get something like that where it seems fishy. I'm not going to say everyone is trying to scam, but obviously there are the random times where a hole was missed, and obviously I need to refund their money. But in this case, where the guy is being really irrational, and he said he had to throw them out because they stunk up his whole apartment within 10 minutes. And I'm not making that up. Wish I was. But I sent him a message and I just said, "I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. You know, if you'd like to return these shorts, I can completely understand. Submit a return request on eBay and I will give you a full refund once I receive the shorts back." Now, as I'm typing this, I know he's trying to take me. So he's not being legit on this, but right away. And a lot of times with scammers, if you get something like this where they don't get what they want, they will get even more irrational. They'll start to get a little more, angry and messages to you. And basically he was like, "No, I want a refund. I already threw them away. I can't return them." And I'm like, okay, if this really were the case, why would you throw them away and not just send them back immediately? So, with that guy, I just finally said, I'm not going to give you a refund. If you want a refund, send them back. He never did. And I just went on my way. I think I got negative feedback on that and couldn't get it removed just because sometimes eBay says it's up to the buyer to leave feedback based on their experience. But, that was kind of my first item, not as described, where they were trying to clearly just get a partial refund or full. And this has happened to me probably 4 or 5 times. And every time I just say, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, send it back, and I'll give you a full refund when I have it. And they never do. So that's one way to tell on that specific case. And then there's one other case where this hasn't happened to me as often, maybe once, maybe twice, but this actually happened recently in the last 2 months. I sold a brand new pair of coveralls. They had the sticker, the tags hanging, and they were size 52, which is large for a man. And he got them and said, they're so big, I need a 42. And so right away I was kind of like, how do you not know your size by that much? That seems a little fishy to me. It's not like he said I need a 50. And so I said, fine, send them back. I'll give you a refund. Well, he sent back his old pair of coveralls that had dog hair. They were wrinkled. They smelled. And as soon as I got them back, it was like, this is not the brand new pair that I sent him. So I called eBay right away on that. And I kind of shocked that they did this, but they were like, we're going to give him a refund, which I wasn't happy about that, but we are not going to charge it to you. So I got to keep the money as if the sale happened. But yeah, they ended up giving him his money back. And I mean, I hate to see that because, that guy gets reinforced to go do that to someone else, but it does happen from time to time.
I remember you sharing that story with me, but I'm glad that you got your money anyway. But I also take some solace in the idea that eBay, by doing that, by not taking the money from you, that tells me that they said, you know what, this guy got had, and they probably put some sort of mark on his account so that when they see a pattern, when that pops up again, surely a week from then with another scenario, because that's what people get emboldened when they get away with stuff, right? So that person's going to do it again. If they can get something for $50 for free and that worked, they're going to try it again, and then they're going to have a track record on their account.
Yeah, that's a good point, Chris, because eBay does have it's a private feedback or ding system or something where only they can see it. Sellers and buyers can't see it, and they can make notes on accounts and say, had an issue with this buyer or whatever. And a lot of times they'll use that when they're deciding between a buyer and a seller. They'll look at kind of the record, so to speak, and decide who normally is in these types of situations. And, and so just know that if something doesn't go your way in a case like that, where maybe eBay did take the money from you, there may have still been a ding on their account or something that resulted because of that. So, you know what? Before we play our game, we've got a couple of minutes for a couple of questions. Unless you have anything you want to add to any other scam experiences you've had, Chris.
No, I'll just say, it's such a small percentage of what actually happens that I know a lot of people want to sensationalize scams, and they tend to talk really loud about scams when they happen because they suck, but it's just not something I run into very often, especially once you get that eBay feedback up off the ground. And we've talked about this before. One way to get your eBay feedback up and going so that scammers won't reach out to you, because scammers want to target new people because they figure that they haven't been scammed that way before. But one way to get that feedback up is obviously sell some stuff, but also buy some stuff on eBay. And you'll get positive feedback from the seller, which also increases your score the same as if you were the seller yourself. If you're the buyer or the seller, the one feedback still counts the same.
Yeah, here's a good question from Sharon. How long do you let things sit until you give up on them if they've not sold? Do you ever give up on items, Chris?
I gave up on, I remember one pair of Armani pants that I ended up giving up on. And I think part of the reason I gave up on them is because I had sold them and they got returned by the buyer for wrong size. And they sat again, then they got bought and returned, and they sat. And when the person returned them, they rolled them up in a ball and put them in a bag. So they were dry clean only pants. And now I have this just rolled up in a ball, messy thing, and they sat for another year. I just redonated them. But aside from that, I can't think of any other examples where I moved on. I counted this up actually. I don't know why I counted this up earlier just for fun. I was looking through some metrics and stuff. I have 12 items remaining from 2018, and I have 40 items remaining in my store from 2019. So a total of 52 items that are from 2019 or older.
Wow.
And I have 610 listings. So what is that, like, I don't know, 8% or something, 7%.
Yeah. That's a good ratio.
It's like, it's kind of this insignificant thing. I mean, those 52 items would fill up it's always backwards here, like one and a half of those bins right there, right? So someone could say, like, you got all that stuff sitting around, like, yeah, fills up 1.5 bins, whatever. I'll wait until it sells. Now, if it's the same story 2 years from now, 1.5 bins, I'll probably get rid of some of that stuff. But
yeah, I think you have a better ratio than I do. I've probably got 50 things from 2018. No, probably not that much, but 25 items from 2018 that I need to get rid of.
Keep in mind, I started my business in 2018, so I wasn't, and it was
That's
in August
true.
of 2018.
Very true.
So I wasn't buying stuff. I have nothing in bins from June of 2018 because my business hadn't started yet.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to this question and then we'll play our game. Kathy asked, do you ever list the same item 3 separate ways? Like, I don't know, Thai stuffed bear, Valentine stuffed bear. And then she goes on to ask in a later clarification question. I meant 3 separate listings. So you have one item, you list it 3 separate listings to see which kind of sticks, I guess, or which gets the sale. I've never tried that, Kathy. I've thought about it with items where I have like multiple quantities of, like, say I have like a pair of golf pants that maybe I found new with tags and I've got different sizes. I thought about doing stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on, how many listings you have and whether you're over that limit already and whether you want to keep paying for additional listings. It could be something worth looking into. Definitely not saying not to do it, but never have.
I'll reply to that by first showing an item, and this will make sense in a second why I'm showing you this. I picked up 4 of these mugs. I also picked up 4 matching plates and soup bowls. These are kind of cool.
Those are cool.
Right. The brand is Dana Cullen, something I'd never heard of before. I paid $1.18 per piece on these, I think. Yeah, $1.18 a piece for these. And like a set of 4 mugs should get me like 25 or so bucks. And there's not many listed. They're not selling super fast, but there's not many listed. So, and they're cool. I really like them. So I think someone will come across them and buy them. The reason I'm showing you this is because I will list this as one single mug. I'll also list this as a set of 4 mugs too, and see what happens. If the 4 mugs sells first, obviously, then I'll just take down the 1 mug. If the 1 mug sells first, then I'll just I'll set it up as quantity 4, by the way, too, the first time. So if that's the case, 1 sells, then it will be quantity 3, and I'll just take down the set of 4 listing. I'm going to do that probably for each of these. So I'll do 1 listing of 4 and 1 listing of 1 of this. I'll do 1 listing of 4 bowls and then 1 listing of 1. And then same thing with the plate. And that's what I've done in the past with China, because some people will buy something because they broke something or they want
a replacement piece.
Yeah, or they want to add to their set. They got a set of 4 and now they want to make it a set of 5 or 6, right? So I'll just see whichever plays out first, and then, obviously when 1 sells, then I'm kind of stuck with whatever that was. If all 4 sold, awesome. If 1 sold, cool. Now I got to sell 3 more.
Yeah, and I will say onto that, you can you don't have to necessarily do different listings. I mean, if that's more helpful for you to like remember or to see them all, you can do 1 listing with different variations. So in the case of what Chris is talking about, you've got plates and bowls and cups. You could do in that 1 listing, say the whole set, 20 pieces, whatever it is, and that's a price, say it's $150. And then maybe you do 4 mugs for $40 or something. You can have different variations. You just have to remember, obviously, to edit, take it down, revise as things start to sell. So that's a good point you made, Chris, because I've thought about doing that with China that I've been picking up to sell. All right. Well, are you ready, Chris?
Yeah, y'all. Let's play a flippin' game. So our flippin' game is 5 questions. Jason and I are answering these questions based on the last 7 days of sales. And It's Jason versus Chris. There will be one winner. There's always one winner. Historically, it is Chris 4 to Jason 1. I am your defending champion from last week. A spirited battle. Here we go. Look at this all-time record. I made this today. This is super high tech, by the way. Who do you know that has this kind of high tech game show going on with markers and paper? Here's our scoreboard. Jason is the shoes. Chris is the shirts. So 5 questions. We're talking about sales from the past 7 days since the last time we hung out. And question number 5 is important because we're going to need audience participation for question number 5. Your votes are going to determine who gets the point for question number 5.
That's right.
So stay tuned for that one. Are you ready to just kick things right off?
Yeah, let's go. What is the first round? We always start off with...
Let's jump right in with round number 1, which is the biggest sale.
Biggest sale. All right, I'm switching it over to you. Here you go.
You're going to be so pissed when you see this, Jason. Are we up?
You are up.
So your best friend, Jason, Jaylen Brown, for the second week in a row, is my biggest sale. This is a different card, almost the same card as what sold last week, but this is a Panini Select. This is the tricolor prism, so it's an insert card, and it sold for, what was the full price? I sold for $130. I paid $50 for this item. So $130 was the total purchase price for Mr. Jaylen Brown, one of my favorite players and one of the hottest cards in the NBA right now.
I think we should make a rule. You can't use the same item next week.
It's a different, in my defense, it's a different card, a different sale.
It is a different card. All right, let me show you what I got. Here we go. Sold these for for that full price, $101.82 plus the 10 shipping, so $111.82. I didn't quite catch you on this, Chris, and I will say you kind of sent me a teaser text this morning saying you had a big sale today, and I was thinking I probably won't have a chance at catching you, but that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Well, Jason, I have bad news for you because that teaser that I sent you earlier about my big sale was actually not that Jaylen Brown card.
Really?
So I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Okay.
I'll go ahead and update our scoreboard. We have Chris with the shirts, 1, Jason with the shoes, 0. Let's move on to question number 2. This is what we're all in here for, is the profit. So what was your biggest profit item of the past week? The one item you made the most profit after fees and shipping. And
all right, let's see it.
This is the one that came in this morning, Jason.
You're up.
All right. So Reebok CrossFit. This is a powerlifting shoe. I've never seen a shoe quite like this before, but with shoes, good advice is to, if you see something that looks a little funky or different, go ahead and look that thing up. I looked these things up, found out that they're powerlifting CrossFit shoes. I got a full asking price, $79 plus $9.95 shipping.
Wow.
So buyer was all in for $89. These are actually going international through the global shipping program. So I'm shipping these to Kentucky, and then eBay will take care of the shipping to wherever in the world that they're actually going.
Nice. Good little.
So, sorry, I got to give you the stats on that.
Yeah.
So
Give us the profit.
I paid $10 for this pair of shoes. So after shipping and fees, I profited $58 on the sale.
$58, man. Well, I can't beat you on that one, Chris, but I will show you just for fun what I sold. I talked about blazers a couple weeks ago, and here is a sale on a blazer. This was a Tommy Hilfiger blazer that I picked up at the Goodwill bins for, I think, a couple bucks. Where if you don't know what the Goodwill bins are, you pay by the pound rather than, pay by the article, like a set price. So it would have been a couple bucks on this. Sold it for $49 all in on a best offer with shipping. Ended up making $34.78 profit on this guy right here.
That's an awesome sale, man. And so 2 interesting notes. I have never been to the bins, any bins, period, or Goodwill outlet, I should say, or what us resellers refer to as the bins. And I have still yet to sell a single blazer, but I listed I listed 10 blazers sorry, 10. I listed 12 blazers today.
Uh-huh.
And I have another 11 blazers in the other room that I picked up yesterday that I'm going to list. So
Nice.
total leap of faith. I now have 15 blazers listed and another 11 that are going to go up for 26 that I might
Wow.
have up before I sell even my first one. So I'm happy to see you selling a blazer for a good price. That was a sweet blazer, by the way, too.
It was, yeah, it had a really cool pattern. And Tommy Hilfiger, I wasn't sure on that one, but I thought a couple bucks at the Benz. I probably wouldn't have picked it up for 10 bucks. I mean, I say that now, but I probably would have just passed by it if I'd seen it at Goodwill. So
maybe a new brand for you. I've never picked
maybe
up a
so.
Tommy Hilfiger blazer, so maybe I'll check one out.
Yeah, and that was a larger size too. All right, round number 3.
Update on the scoreboard first. We got shirts 2, shoes 0. Moving on to number 3. Let me get mine loaded up here. I'm locked and loaded.
Going fastest sale of the week.
Fastest sale of the week. This is everyone's favorite category. We love those speedy flips.
Where you get home, you list it, and you get an offer right away. Here we go. I'm queuing you up. You're in.
Cool. So I sold this kind of average Joe Ralph Lauren 2XL Blake button-down short sleeve shirt. Usually short sleeves take a little longer to sell and don't go for as much money, but this one sold for full asking price. I got $27 for it. It sold within 1 hour and 16 minutes of me listing it. I was not expecting that. But you never know. Sometimes just run-of-the-mill bread and butter inventory sells really fast. But of course, the key here being that 2XL size.
Wow, 1 hour.
1 hour, 16 minutes. This is one of the fastest sales I've had in actually quite some time. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean that's hard to beat, Chris. You are hard to beat this week.
Do you still have me up on the screen? I wanted to show something for Juan about the start time.
Yeah. Here you go. So
up here in this top right corner, this is like when I clicked on the sold item. I'm intentionally not scrolling up because I don't want to show you the buyer's information, but right there it says that's the start time was January 15th, 2021. So you know that the sales date was the January the 15th at 10 whatever 16 or 17 or something like that. So that's where you can take a look at the start time of your items. You can't do that on mobile, by the way. It has to be on ebay.com, like on the desktop.
Yeah, thanks for highlighting that. I'm glad you remembered that. All right, we're going to mine right here. This was my fastest sale of the week. Many of you might remember that this was one of the coolest finds I had, I think, last week or the week after that. I'm not sure. They're not the week before, I mean.
The week after.
The Simpsons, the week after, which would be this week. This Simpsons talking clock actually didn't really talk, but it was a cool clock dial face there that you can see. Picked it up for $5, and within, let's see, 3 days and 47 minutes, it sold for full asking price. I got $35.83 on this clock, and even with me saying in the description that this didn't talk, it just looked cool. So yeah, that was a great sale.
I'll tell you what, if there was a category for like the coolest item that sold this week, I think you'd take it on that one for sure. What a cool item.
We can add it in and just,
All right, a little update to our scoreboard. Chris is running wild. Shirts 3, shoes 1. Let's move on to question number 4, category 4. This is my favorite. The slowest sale, getting rid of that old inventory. Nothing feels better than getting rid of that old stuff.
That's right. When that item from way back when flies off the shelf, finally.
You're going to laugh when you see this. You can go ahead and cue it up whenever you're ready.
Another one of those. All right, here we go. This is going to be good.
I sold another youth ski helmet. I purchased this ski helmet on August 31st, 2019, which is, you hear me saying that date a lot in this game because I bought like $800 worth of stuff from an Amazon reseller who was liquidating, and he had a big yard sale. So I bought a whole bunch of stuff from him, including 4 youth helmets. I didn't sell any of those helmets until a month ago, really probably 3 weeks ago. And this is the 4th one to sell. The other 3 were that brand Gyro. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Gyro, I think. This brand is 888 Brain Saver, and this is an audio ski helmet. So I accepted an offer because I wanted to get rid of this thing. I don't remember what the offer was. I think it was $17 plus the $11.84 standard shipping. So total in the inventory was 507 days. I actually sold 2 things from that garage sale this week. The other one was 503 days because it sold earlier in the week. So 2 500 plus days. This one's 507. That is my slowest sale. Get out of here. Especially it was like new in box. So it was like taking up a bunch of room in the closet. Get out of here.
Oh, geez. Love it when that happens. All right, here we go. My slowest sale this week was this guy, this Eddie Bauer button-up shirt. It looks like a cotton flannel. It's actually polyester, but I had this listed it on October 29th, 2018.
Whoa.
And total of 807 days.
That is ridiculous.
You know, I didn't write down how much I got for it. I think I got I think this sold for the full price, the 1682 plus 5 shipping. So yeah, that was an oldie for sure.
Yeah, good to get rid of that one. And I think Eddie Bauer, am I right? And that's a brand that you don't typically pick up unless it's unique for some reason.
Exactly.
Actually, why don't you tell us, like, what is it that's going to make, like, what will you see in an Eddie Bauer that'll make you pick it up?
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because I was at the store this week and saw a couple Eddie Bauers. I was almost tempted to pull them off the shelf, and I was like, nope, remember, Eddie Bauer is just, it's not what it used to be for me. You can get larger amounts, but like you saw, it just sits for a while. So, and you know, like the Eddie Bauer outlet, we had one in Denver. They would sell stuff, and their website is always like 40 to 50% off. So it's hard to compete with, you know, a brand new sweater selling for $30 or a brand new shirt for 25 when you got an old one for 15 or 20. I mean, most people are just going to go, I'll pay the extra $5 and get the brand new. So yeah, I just don't pick it up unless I can find a new with tags item, and even some of those sit long. So, you know,
what about like a vintage, like a cool vintage jacket? It's corduroy. It's got that
that's a good
line.
Yeah. I will say that there are like some field jackets that are kind of like the longer coats. They're more of an outdoor, like heavier, like canvas material. I will pick those, a corduroy blazer. Those are a couple of the brands that I'll pick. But other than that, I stay away from their button-down shirts. I stay away from their sweaters for the most part. So yeah, that's a really good point, because those are two that I would see and go, oh, okay, I'll pick that up.
I bet you if I looked in my inventory, and maybe I'll do it before the show's over, I bet you I'll find some like old Eddie Bauer stuff out of some of those items from 2018 and 2019.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we are. Last round.
This is everyone's favorite, the best pick of the week. We're going to need the audience participation for this. Don't vote yet, but when it's time to vote, once you've seen the 2 items, put J in the chat to vote for Jason's item, put C in the chat to vote for my item. This is not about like the item that you think is going to sell for the most money. It's up to you. Like, what do you think is the cooler item? It could be your favorite brand. It could be your favorite character or whatever. We'll update the scoreboard now. It is shirts 3. Jason is on the board. Shoes with 1. But there's something, even though the game is officially locked up for Chris, there's something about winning category number 5. We're pickers and flippers, so it's fun to share this. I have a bunch of items down here. I haven't chosen what I'm going to put up yet. I was going to go with like the feel and what I'm going with, but I think I'm going to go. Yeah.
Well, you're up first. So let's see what you go with.
Boom.
Okay.
Cards Against Humanity. Do you know this game, Jason?
Yeah, I know that game.
I picked this thing up. It was actually like in that cart. They were like, it was a cart that they were probably stocking up. Like they hadn't put the stuff out on the floor yet. So it was a cart full of stuff. I always dig through that cart. And I think I paid, what's that? It's $4. It's reselling for like 15 plus shipping. So that's cool. But I don't know if I'm going to resell it. I might keep it because it's funny. What are we comfortable with in terms of rating? Are we PG? Are we PG-13 or we R?
That's one thing we haven't discussed. I mean, what do you want to say? Just say it.
The first card I pulled out of here, just literally opened the box and pulled it out, was that. I'll just throw that right there. If you're not familiar with Cards Against Humanity, it is a a party game for horrible people. If you ever have a group of 4 or 6 people over at the house, what an awesome game to play. It is raunchy. It is funny. Cards Against Humanity. That is my personal favorite pick from this week, and I might keep it. We'll see.
Yeah, and this show just became an adult.
Well, even kids watching. Even kids have it. They might not know what to call it.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen a lot of spinoffs of that game, and I can't think of the names, but I've been in Target and I've noticed there's some other companies now trying to make games like that, Cards Against Humanity, and I can't remember what they're called, but
we have one actually, which is why I may not keep this one and sell it. It's like stick figures that kind of do like different funny things, and the game is awesome. I forget the name of it, but it is a great, good fun if you got a group of 4 or 6 of you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to show you my coolest find. I got to go full screen on this.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
It's a non-clothing item. I'm going to stick with my routine here of trying to get out of the clothing.
Yes.
Check that out. $2.22. Yeah. I want to back out because you got to see how big this thing is.
Oh my gosh.
This is a yarn Yeti, a yarn abominable snowman, whatever you want to call him. It looks like it's homemade. I can't tell. There's no like tag on it whatsoever, like no brand or company tag or anything. But yeah, I saw this. I'm always looking for large plushes, and for $2, I'm like, I mean, there's not going to be any comps for something like this. It's a homemade piece. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, but like, this is just a thing of yarn that someone made, like under the arm there.
That's awesome. Are you gonna put shag as a keyword in the item?
That's a great idea. I probably will. But I mean, this guy is super excited. You can see his expression there. I will say, like, I don't know if you can see it. Where is it? Right in here. There's like some orange stains on some of the yarn. So I'm just going to cut those off so those won't be seen. Try and minimize that. But yeah, I mean, I honestly, I did a search for, Yetis, and like, there's obviously some that sell, but nothing looks like this. So what do you guys think? Coolest pick? We go in the Yeti plush, or we go in Cards Against Humanity? Jay in the chat, got some people already voting. Jay in the chat for Jason, the Yeti man, and C in the chat for Chris, Cards Against Humanity. I don't know. Yeah. It looks like, I'm with Uncle Dave. He may be biased, but he's got Jay. Says we wanted to let him win at least one vote. Getting other votes for JJJ. I don't see a C, Chris. I may have swept this one.
Uncle Dave is he's a Yeti man,
He's a Yeti man.
Hey, that is a cool pick. If I'm going to have to get beat on coolest pick, I want it to be with a yarn shag Yeti. I mean, that's what it's got to be.
Yeah, I'm just curious for those that are watching, what would you price that at? I have no idea even where to start. So I'm obviously going to do some more research on that before I list it. But what would you price that at if you had that item?
Well, here's the thing. Let's make this even more fun. Jason has to price it for whatever the average is of the numbers that you put into the.
I don't know if I like this game.
Well, it's one of those items you can literally just put any number on it. I mean, literally, you can just put anything and somebody might come along.
Honestly, yeah. And I mean, the great thing about this, plushes in general, even if they're large, they're lightweight because they're just yarn and stuffing or lightweight stuff. And this can like fold up. So I could get this into a smaller box that I have, like a 14 by 12. Uncle Dave says $29.99. Anyone else have any ideas on what you would price that at?
I'm thinking personally, I don't know. I feel like 29 is a good price. I was thinking maybe 39, but I don't know. I think maybe Uncle Dave is probably right. I mean, you want to sell the thing. You don't want the thing to hang out in a bin for 6 months, but
yeah, I may do that 30 plus shipping. So add like $10 for shipping and go up on the upper 30s and then take offers from there lower. So we'll see.
Well, that's a nice one, man. Good pick. Congrats on pick of the week. That concludes our flipping game for today. Chris, the shirt's taking it 3-2. I think the score is always 3-2. That brings our all-time flipping record to 5 wins for Chris and 1 win for Jason. But I have a feeling, Jason, you're going to get hot here pretty soon. Eventually, I'm going to run out of Jaylen Brown cards here. And
that could be the best thing for me is if you sell off your basketball cards.
And you don't even want to know. I still have maybe 6 more Jaylen cards, including a couple of like big ones too. That I don't know. I might hang on to them. I've already made my money back and then some on all my Jaylen.
Yeah, so you've done well on those. I
can hold those if I want to. It just so happens that Jaylen's one of my favorite players, and he plays for the Celtics, my squad. So I'm in no rush to get rid of him.
All right, guys. Well, we are at the end of the show, and this is the time when we do one last question before we leave you. And we answer this question ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it up there for you to go ahead and start commenting in the chat. Question of the night: what is the strangest item, not that you've seen, but that you've actually picked up at a thrift store or a garage sale to resell online or to resell in general? So the strangest item you've actually purchased to resell. I've got mine. I can share that, Chris, and let you have some time and we can look at what other people are saying. But I had to think about this one for a while because if I sell clothing, I don't get a lot of strange pieces. But I did. One just came to mind. I'll give you 2. I had a cat vest. I had a vest that was embroidered with cats all over it. Picked that up thinking I would get more money. Didn't really, but got rid of it. And then the one that came to mind first was I picked up a couple, like 2 or 3 kits that were infant CPR kits. And it was like a baby doll that you would like practice CPR on. And it had like a DVD and I don't know. So I picked up 2 or 3 of those. They were brand new in the box. And eventually I sold those for like $30 each. So
yeah, if you want to share my screen, I definitely got my weirdest thing. This always, a lot of my friends will make jokes when I talk about my business. They'll ask about this item. Let me know when you got it shared.
Yeah, I got you up.
This is a youth boys athletic cup, like an athletic supporter. I bought a case of these actually from my man, Jeff, who was liquidating his Amazon store. August 31st, 2019. And I had a whole case of these things I probably have like 15 or 10 cents into them. So anyway, you can take that down off the screen. That's the weirdest one. They don't sell very often, and they certainly don't sell very fast, but every now and again one sells and I put a few bucks in my pocket, whatever.
Yeah, Sharon says that's a funny find. Sharon says a wooden hat mold, paid $3 and got $89. Wow. I don't even know what to register in my mind for what that looks like. Lion Creek Boutique, I picked up a bidet for $5 and sold for $55. I'm guessing that was like a Facebook or Craigslist flip.
I don't know why bidets haven't picked up in America. I think it's a cool item.
Maybe that's the start of it right there with that flip. Ken Griffey Jr. Valentine's Day cards from Ryan.
That's interesting. I never heard of those before.
Yeah, I haven't seen them either. So a lot of really strange picks tonight. All right. Well, have we had fun tonight, Chris?
Yeah, that was a fun game. It was a good week of flipping. And by the way, it's worth mentioning too, I know we were talking about slow sales earlier in the month. I want to report to everybody that my sales in the past 7 days are up 65% from what they were in the first 2 weeks of January. So we're exactly on the 21st. So we've literally had exactly 3 weeks. Week number 3 was up 65% from my first 2 weeks, which is really, really awesome. It's been really, really encouraging. So Jason, any uptick on your side?
Yeah, I looked at that because you said you were going to be sharing that. My store is up like 50%. So not quite as high as yours, but definitely enough for me to be encouraged and be like, okay, we're starting to get some cash back in the business again. So yeah, glad that's the case. And hopefully that's the case for you guys watching as well. Hopefully you're seeing some buyers come into eBay or wherever you're selling and buy some of your stuff. All right. Well, this is a reminder that next week we will be back. 2 Flippin' Dudes, Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Chris and I, he will be the 2-time defending champion, and I will definitely try and take him down next week with better sales and a better, coolest find.
I'm gonna be back with some Jaylen Brown. I don't have any Jaylen listed right now, but maybe I'll get something up there. A quick reminder: if you'd like to get more Chris at Peak, check me out on Instagram and TikTok. I put up daily posts showing what I'm finding, what I'm selling, random reseller tips, stuff to help you grow your business and just to have some fun with this cool business that we have and flipping and reselling.
And he does have a great channel, so go check him out if you haven't already. He's got a lot of fun videos out there. All right, guys, that's it for us tonight. This is Jason and Chris signing off. Thanks so much for tuning in with us.
Peace out, everyone. Peace out, Dion. Thanks for showing up.
Have a good one.